Welcome to No Agenda by the Arabian Stories, a show that has no agenda but revolves around conversations, camaraderie, and a bit of banter. In the first episode, we're joined by a dynamic duo of sisters, business partners, and co founders of an extremely successful fashion brand from Oman, Nadia and Lubna Zakwani of Endemage. Nadia and Lubna, thank you so much for joining us on this show, and that with the inaugural edition.
It's our pleasure.
Thank you for having us. It's always a pleasure.
Of course, it's always fun to have both of you, and it's lovely to be with you.
And it's a beautiful location right now.
Right?
Yes.
Yeah, we love it too. So, I wanted to start at the beginning because we've known each other for so long. I've seen your brand, grow over the years, and if I'm not mistaken, it's 2013 that you started, right? At that time, fashion was still in its nascent stage in Oman. What inspired both of you to launch Endemage, even like come into that field?
You start?
I think it was always a passion, especially growing up with my mom and aunt who already had a fashion house in Oman. We'd always be playing around with the fabrics, we'd be designing our own outfits. So it was like any other girl, it was always a passion. So, but at that time, like you said, it wasn't a career. And I think that's why both me and Nadia initially started studying something that was completely unrelated to fashion, until we then realized, no, we want to do fashion. And I was still in college, so I was able to change my major to fashion design and get my bachelor's in pattern drafting and knowing the ins and outs of how to make an outfit or how to design a collection.
So you moved into fashion. What were you studying before that?
I was studying psychology.
Right, yes, I remember. And
Yeah.
Nadia?
I was in, I graduated in business administration
Right.
and marketing.
Okay, so that kind of has helped
It
the
worked
brand.
well. It
I'm
worked
sure,
well.
I'm sure. So
She was a creative head
yes,
and I took care of business.
the heart of the brand
Yes.
and the head of the brand,
Yes.
right? Yes, of course. So if I'm saying, you had this interest because like you said, your mom and your aunt were involved and, you grew up seeing that.
Yes.
Do you think it would have influenced you if they were not in it? Because, your innate sense of style is there, both of you have. It's different. So would that have happened even if they were not?
I think it would. I think the dynamics would have probably been different because with the boutique that my mom and aunt had, we already had that support. We knew how to run that kind of business,
Right.
Where to get the artisans from, where to get our fabrics from. So it was, let's say,
It made it easier.
yeah.
I mean, it was a natural path. So now I feel like even if mom and my aunt had not taken that route, it wasn't Lubna from the get-go. So like, as my baby sister, I saw her like at the age of like 3, she'd go into mama's drawers and remove like pearl necklaces and remove fabrics and play around. So that was going on with us since she was a child. So I don't think I necessarily would have changed if my parents were in fashion or not. It just helped,
Right.
basically.
Right, great.
Yeah.
So I think there was a phase also, Lubna, where you had gone into the corporate world, right? Like you had a corporate life.
Yeah.
Do you think that influenced you in your business? Did that help as you moved into creating your own brand?
Yes, 100%. It did help. I think we were also taught as children that we needed to kind of work on ourselves and not expect everything to come to us easily. And that was part of the reason why both me and Nadia started working in corporate jobs,
Right.
where we could then start our own business with our own hard-earned money. But then also in PR, it was such an amazing experience, and I had the best bosses in the world. So I had 2 amazing, powerful women that were my bosses in PR, and we had a number of luxurious international brands that we were working on. So it gave me insights to how these brands work and how they get their marketing and PR out. And it helped me when I started Endemage to kind of implicate that into the brand.
Right.
Yeah.
So, now they are talking on the same aspect, like, because you were also in corporate. Do you think someone who wants to start a business or an entrepreneur, Do you think being in a corporate job before they go forth to set up a business or pursue their passion, does that help? Or do you think they could go directly into, setting up a business?
Look, I feel definitely working a corporate job, the 9 to 5, an established company, you get to learn, use it as your stepping stone, make your mistakes, learn from your everyday job basically, and when you start and get into your own business, you would have already known from your past. So it just makes it easier. But then again, if someone has a passion and they want to start directly into setting up a company, they can, but they need to be ready for the hardships that go with it.
Yeah.
It just be that much more difficult, because then those mistakes, because everyone makes mistakes, stepping blocks till you learn and get the flow exists, whether it's in a corporate job or in your own company. So my preference is work in an established company, learn from your peers, instead of going and diving deep into into your own company right away.
Right. So both of you also come from a business family. Did that help? I'm sure there were moments when you probably went back to family members and asked, how do we go about things? Did that help as
Till
well?
today.
I think we still do.
Till today.
Yeah.
I mean, we've been in the family business since my great grandfather, so it's generations of family members who are in family have had their own businesses. So taking from them and their experiences and their father's experiences has been an asset to us. So it makes it easier. Any sort of stumble, even before it can be a stumble or a challenge or a query or question, gets answered more easily just by going back to my father or my aunt or my mom. And they give us that feedback, so we know how to move accordingly.
Okay. And, so the dynamics right now, I want to know how it works, because you're based, Lubna, in Dubai, and Nadia manages the business here in Oman. So how does that work, where, both of you, where do you meet? How does the whole responsibility factor work?
I would say it's all over the place, but it just works for us. Yes, I do design, but with time, I think Nadia has also gotten into the creative mindset. So it's a lot of different ideas coming together at the same time. We do bump heads, which is not normal, and I think it's also healthy in a business. But for me, being in Dubai is a good, let's say, platform to be exposed to the international market with my clients, with the sales, with the media. So that works well where it comes to our international appearances. And then when I come back to Oman, me and Nadia always sit down and we work on our collections that are coming.
We always give each other time to pick each other's brains.
Right.
So whether when Lubna is in Oman or I'm in Dubai, we do get time to spend together. We fight, we have our small little arguments, but then also she gets insight into me, I get insight into her. So it just makes it easier and smoother. Over the years, it was difficult initially, but then with time, it just became in sync. I don't know how, and that's what Lubna is saying. It's not a traditional way of working,
Right.
but it works for us. So
Right.
that's, yeah.
So, Endemage started in Oman and now it's gone global. I would say it's international. What was that one pivotal moment when you knew that Endemage has changed? It's on to the next journey it's not just an Omani brand, but you're taking Oman outside.
So I think after doing Paris Fashion Week, London, and then going to New York Fashion Week as showrooms, those were milestones in our as a brand. But what actually took us international was COVID.
Wow. COVID.
COVID.
Okay.
Because it was one of our hardest times, and it was right before Ramadan, which is our busiest season. And me and Nadia had always been talking about having an online presence. But with how, when you're working and when you have ongoing collections, you're always busy. So we never had time to actually focus on setting up the website and getting it going online. So as soon as COVID hit, our collections were already sent to the region. So it had already been sent to Saudi, Qatar, Kuwait, and everyone went on lockdown. So me and Nadia were like, what do we do now? Like, we have all the stock and we have nowhere to sell it. Within 4 days, our website went online.
Wow.
And that's when we realized, wow, we have customers from Japan, from Australia, from Canada. And I'm like,
South
Africa. And we never even realized how international Endemage had gone as a brand, that these clients were just waiting to be able to get their hands on an Endemage piece.
Right.
And that only happened when the website went online.
You know, right, that's amazing to know that, you know, you have this kind of a varied clientele. Has that, because, you know, you have international clientele as well, since then, has that affected or changed the way you do your design, your styling? Do you create thinking about the larger clientele, or is still Oman like a main focus for you when you design?
I would say from the beginning, we were always designing for powerful women. Whether it was Arab or international, we were always looking for a woman that is comfortable in her own skin. And we wanted women to feel beautiful and feel confident and feminine with whatever they wore from Endemage. Right. So it was never directly targeted to Arab women. But yes, we did change with time, as every brand would. We'd evolve with time. And after getting all those international clients, we started introducing a basics collection, which was more like a travel wear for Arab women, but let's say
a resort wear.
A resort wear for international women.
Okay.
One thing that Lubna didn't focus on, when we started off in Endemage, we focused on the global woman. We never had a nationality or religion or type ever. Like, it was never our focus. And being in the international scene, especially like Lubna, being in Dubai, it's very global.
Right.
So I think that was one of the things that also like just came in, that we have to create for everyone. There has to be something that everyone feels comfortable in. Our abayas, we have the black collection, the black abaya collection, which is traditional wear, and then we have the colored abayas, which also is refreshing to see. When, like, several times we've seen our clients walking in and they would be Europeans,
Right.
coming into the boutique, whether it's in Oman, or we have seen them in the boutiques that we stock our pieces in outside of Oman, wearing our pieces, which, I mean, taking our identity to the non-Arab or non-Muslim society.
So I guess I think there's a synergy between the women, between women and the styles, right? You don't have to create something separate for a different market.
No.
That has been helpful.
Yeah.
Yes.
I mean, even with our Ramadan collection, it is very traditional, but there's also that edginess to it.
Of course.
So it can also still be worn by like Western women, you know, if they want to have like more of like an Arab touch to their outfit, like the way we love wearing Indian outfits, you know. So like taking a touch of somebody's culture does not mean you're adapting it. No, but it's a type of accessory, I would say.
And you're appreciating it.
Yes,
You're showing appreciation to that
100%.
culture, of course. So, you know, I wanted to know also about. I know how the journey has been for you, but I wanted to know about some of the challenges that you faced as a business, as co-founders of the brand, and how have you overcome it? If you can tell me 2 or 3 of your top challenges and how you. I mean, COVID was amazing. How you turned.
COVID, yeah. A lot of brands, I feel, want to go viral or want to go be the top as soon as they start. And I feel like with our parents grounding us and telling us baby steps is what takes you there, I feel like that was a huge learning lesson for us. Like we never wanted to overachieve, but we wanted to show our designs and show the brand as an international, well-established fashion house without I would say like
we wanted to be sustainable. We wanted to last the ages.
Right.
Sometimes I
Not
feel
be a fad and just.
exactly.
And sometimes jumping or running instead of taking steps. I mean, it's nice to jump and like go places, but taking those baby steps is difficult, but in the long run, it helps us to be stable. So that was one of the things that our parents kept on putting it in us. Don't jump stages. And trying to stay back was difficult, but getting that done, we've seen 13 years going strong, stability, and it works. We opened our boutique almost 10 years.
Later, yeah.
Yeah, almost 10 years later, our standalone boutique. All this time, it's been us stocking in places across the GCC, but never our own. Again, we wanted to do that way earlier, but they were and these were the challenges. They were like, hold on, learn from your mistakes, learn on how to keep it moving. It can't just be that you start up your boutique and that's it.
Right.
It has to
Feasibility
be.
as well, like, you know,
Yeah.
all the money that comes in cannot be spent all at
Yes.
once. You have to, like, and that's what I said when it came back to us having corporate jobs. Whatever money you make, reinvest it into the business until you're stable and you're happy to be able to open that boutique and still be comfortable without having like debts on you.
Right.
You know, so I feel like us opening 10 years later was for us when we were comfortable enough to be able to open our boutique and then grow from it, not let it bring us down.